Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be working on maximum product difference between two pairs. And in the problem, you're given a product difference between two pairs, A, B, and C, D, is defined as A times B minus C times D. So the product difference between like these is 16. And given an array nums, you want to return four indices such as the product is maximized. So for example, here, we're going to want to return like it tells you right here, 6, 7, and 2, 4. And that's kind of the idea here. To maximize product, we want AB, A times B, minus C times D, where A and B are the two biggest numbers in the array, and C and D are the two smallest, right? Because we want the biggest product possible minus smallest product possible. And the way to do that is pretty straightforward. We just find the two biggest and the two smallest. That's kind of what we need to do. We need to go through this, and we need to find the two biggest and two smallest numbers. Now, let's walk through how we can do that. So we'll just make an array of numbers. And let's just put in some numbers. So one easy way of doing that is to just sort the numbers, right? If we just have all numbers, like let's say these were our numbers, then we could easily find the two biggest and the two smallest. But we don't want to do that. There's going to be a better way. So let's just say we have some numbers. Let's just say we have like 5, 3, 9, 8, 1, 5, 15, 7, 2, 3. So first what we're going to do is we're going to initialize the numbers. And the easiest way to initialize the numbers is just take these four and then sort them. And then put our numbers in the right thing, right? So what we want, once again, is we want A and B to be the biggest two. Or I guess in our case, we'll have A and B be the smallest two. So we'll have A be like the very smallest, B the second smallest, C the second biggest, and D the biggest. So we can sort these and just put them in A, B, C, D. So this sorted would be 3, 5, 9, 8. So it would be like 3, 5, 8, 9, right? Sorted. Now we can just go through numbers and we can just check. We have to check two things, right? Is it in this range, or is it in this range, or is it in neither? So, and by in this range, I mean, is the number smaller than B? If it's smaller than B, then we're going to want to add it over here. Or if it's bigger than C, we're going to want to add it over here, and then we just need to check where. So if it's smaller than B, we need to see is it smaller than A as well. If it is, we will replace A with it and replace B with A. So let's kind of walk through how this would happen. So this is the first number we're at. We're just going to check, is it smaller than B? Yes, it is. Is it smaller than A? Yes, it is. So what's going to happen here is B will take the old A value, and A will get replaced by this new value. So basically what's going to happen here is B will take the 3, and A will take the 1. Now we'll check here. Is it smaller than B? No, it's not. Is it bigger than C? No, it's not. So it's not a number we care about. Okay, what about 15? Is it smaller than B? No, it's not. Is it bigger than C? Yes. Is it bigger than D? Yes. So then what will happen is C will take the old D value, and the new the 15 will go into D. So we're going to have 9. So we basically have 4 checks, right? Is it in this category, and do we have to replace the biggest or the smallest number? And then is it in this category, and do we have to replace the biggest number? And that's kind of what we're going to be doing. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to say, okay, 7 smaller than B? No, it's not. Is it bigger than C? No, it's not. Is 2 smaller than B? Yes, it is. Is it smaller than A? No, it's not. So we'll just replace B with it directly. And finally, is 3 smaller than B? No, it's not. Is it bigger than C? No, it's not. So now notice we have our two smallest and biggest numbers. Now we can easily just get a product here and a product here and subtract them, and that will give us our answer. And that's pretty much it. So now we can code it up. So we are going to have our 4 numbers initialized. So we'll have A, B, C, D equals the first 4 numbers sorted. So numbers 0 to 4, we can just do this. So the first 4 numbers sorted will go into A, B, C, D. Now we have to look through everything else. So for I in range 4, we'll start at 4 up to the end of the numbers. We have to check, is the number smaller than B? If it is it smaller than A? And if it is smaller than A, then we have to replace A and B, right? So we'll say like AB equals A gets replaced by the number, and B gets replaced by the old value of A. Otherwise, B will just get replaced by the number because it's not smaller than A. So we'll just say B equals nums I. And the other case is if the number is bigger than C. So if the number is bigger than C, then this is basically the same logic in reverse. So if it's also bigger than D, it's also bigger than D, we need to replace C and D. So we'll say C, D equals D nums I. Otherwise, we just need to replace C. And finally, at the end, A and B will have the two smallest, C and D will have the two biggest, so we just return D times C minus A times B, right? The biggest product minus the smallest product. And that should do it. And there we go. So now we can talk about the time and space. So for the time, we went through our array one time. This part doesn't cost us anything because we're only using 4 elements. This is O of 1. So we're going through the array one time, O of n. And for the space, we just have 4 variables, so it's O of 1. Because we just have this A, B, C, D. We're not using anything else. Yeah, the other way is sort it and take the two smallest and biggest, but that would also be O of 1 space, and it would be n log n, so this is more efficient. So the other thing you could do, if you were to modify your input, just briefly I could talk about it, is you can actually get the max and the min, and then you can just remove those two numbers. And that would also be O of n and O of 1, and it would be a lot less code, but for most problems, you don't want to modify the input. So basically, you would just get the max, like give me the max, then you would say like, okay, that number, let me remove it, right? And then, yeah, or you could manually look through the list again and you say like, okay, let me just try to maximize my number again, but that number can't be that number can't be at like the first index that I got the first number, right? So something like that works, but this is a little bit cleaner. So a bunch of ways to do it, but this is one of them. Yeah. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one. So hopefully you liked it. And if you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.